Alright, jumping into today's charting session on NQ, we're looking at the morning here. So when market open or before market open, I want to see us come out and take this high up here, which we ended up doing, as well as try to take this one and come up into this fair value gap. Um, which we did end up hitting that. I don't know about the second one. I think it was literally like barely off. Yeah, I don't think we tapped in. Um, but there was really no entry because that happened as soon as market opened. We kind of just came down a little bit and then shot up. Um, but after that, we had left this high right here. I think this is when the 15-minute fair value gap created. Let's see. Yeah, so we were holding this. We created SMTs down at the low, had relative equal lows, came up, uh, broke through these fair value gaps, left the inverse, and I went long here on 4 micros. This is where I would have, if we came up to, I just messed it up, but if we came up to here, I would have set my stops at break even, and then TP would have been here. We ended up did getting stopped out though, for loss, which happens. That's part of the game. Even though the confluences were pretty good. The only thing I would say now looking at it is I have this SMT up here at the highs, which I just added, but I didn't see it intraday or real time or whatever. But yeah, we did form a 15-minute SMT right here between NQ and ES. So yeah, it's just something I didn't catch at the time. I don't know if it still would have necessarily inflicted us, but I mean, again, just because we have an SMT doesn't mean we have to respect them. We did, but again, just the confluences that we had down here were really validating longs. But yeah, we ended up getting stopped. Nothing. I didn't plan on taking anything after AM. I'm trying to avoid taking stuff during lunch hour. I mean, I never really traded lunch hour. There'll be times where I sometimes took opportunities during lunch hour, but usually it's never the best time to. I know today, right before PM, we would have had what could have been a possible entry. We came down and held in this fair value gap down here, created an SMT at the low. Had a 1 minute fair value gap that could have possibly been an entry, but I just don't want to really evaluate it too much because since I'm not really sure uh, what could have been what do you say, like a very strong bias to take this, because again I didn't see this till after and I was kind of just messing with it and drawing it up. But we did take a trade in the PM session, which was a win after we had this huge buy up during or right after lunch hour going into PM. We took out this buy side here, saw we were kind of accumulating, not really wanting to displace through it. I started to see us come down, breaking structure, and then I would say this is kind of like the silver bullet that I've been looking at. I mean, technically this is a silver bullet that I have been looking at. I've been messing with these on demo because my the way that they're supposed to be taken, again, I talked about it in the past couple of videos. It's just like I'm trying to look for really strong confluences to really make me want to enter, and this kind of like just jumped out at me and looked at one of those things that was like, this looks like a perfect short opportunity. Usually at the time it's just like they haven't really been that good. That's why I've just been using them on demo. But this looks like a setup that I have taken in the past before. So as soon as I saw we started to displace that to the downside again, created this 1 minute. This is where I got in. Kind of the only thing I would say about this entry today that I'm not necessarily too happy with is I probably could have had a little better patience. I did enter. I know one. I think it was on. Yeah, this candle right here. which it was already pretty much out of the fair value gap. And again, it's not like I have to enter. I just, for my where I wanted my stops to be, it would have just been better if I entered within this fair value gap. So once we did come up, I only traded one contract just because of how we had already taken a loss today in the AM. I wanted to keep risk small as I'm really focusing on risk management on this account. So I only went in short one, but once we tapped back in here, I did want to get my average to come up, which I wouldn't really necessarily say it's like an average down. I don't really average down into a losing position. It's just I wanted to have a better fill for this position. So once we ended up coming down or coming back up into this fair value gap, I added one more micro, which even again for having two micros, and even if this would have stopped me out for my risk, I would have been a little bit over, but it would have been nothing insane because they're micros. So I was totally comfortable adding another contract into this fair value gap. And I think it was, yeah, this candle right here, next candle, we ended up rejecting out of the 1 minute. And then within the next 2 minutes, we ended up hitting our break even area as well as my TP. And again, when I say break even, this is where I would have moved my stop to break even, and then this is my TP. I didn't really have an exact, or I wouldn't say not an exact reasoning for my TP. It just usually, again, I'm gonna put my TP at like a form of equilibrium, fair value gap, or a area of liquidity like a low, but we didn't really have that till here, which we ended up on a 5 minute, which we did end up hitting. But I wasn't really looking to take anything crazy. I just kind of wanted a simple, 1 to 2. So that's kind of what it was. Again, if I could have got here, would have been a little bit over 1 to 2. But yeah, it was like a almost a 1 to 2. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it still. Just again, if I could have just waited for the initial instance to retrace back into the fair value gap, and even if it didn't and I missed it, it still would have just been better just because of the fact of having patience. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. After that, again, we ended up going past that point, ended up taking out the slow, and then coming right back up, and then at 4:05 for some reason we just had a straight dump. I'm not sure if that was news related or anything. I didn't see anything come out. I know we didn't have any news or anything like that, but I don't know if any other news had came out or anything like as in that form. Going into tomorrow, I will be trading on the combine. We have news at 8:30 as well as 10 a.m. So I won't be looking to place anything till after 10 a.m. But yeah, that's basically it for today's aftermarket analysis journal. And yep, I will be back again tomorrow.